The stadium where the most matches will be played during the FIFA World Cup 2026 has a roof that opens, and it is as heavy as 20 Boeing 737 planes. In 2006, when its construction work was going on, the engineering team had to make a 15-ton roof that could be opened and closed when needed, and that too on a structure that has neither walls nor any pillar. This was the biggest stadium in the world at that time, in which the longest arches were built without any support. And the problem was that the stadium's arches were curved at an angle of 30 degrees, and at this angle it was impossible to even slide, let alone open, such a heavy roof. This is just like pulling the weight of 20 Boeing airplanes on a slope. On this occasion, dozens of engineers were called. Every possible idea was tested, but all experiments proved to be failures. In the end, the idea that succeeded was invented 150 years ago by a person who had no connection to engineering whatsoever. Welcome once again to the videos of Rake TV. Viewers, the stadium that is being considered the most favorite in FIFA 2026 is AT&T Stadium, present in the city of Arlington, Texas. Spread over an area of 3 million square feet, this magnificent stadium provides a seating capacity of 80,000 at one time. The area inside it is 3 million cubic meters, meaning that the whole Pyramid of Giza could also fit inside it, and even then thousands of people would be able to sit. If we talk about height, if the Statue of Liberty is stood inside, still it will not touch the roof. When we look at the stadium and after that examine its features, then for a moment you don't believe how it must have been built. 2 arches for 100 meters long, and that too without any pillar. 1,500-ton retractable roof, centrally air-conditioned, and to sliding glass doors as high as a 12-story building. All these challenges stood up when in 2006 the National Football League (NFL) of America needed a new stadium in Texas. The demand of the American football team Dallas Cowboys was that there should be a stadium that would not work only for 8 to 10 football matches in a year, but rather it could be cashed in the whole year. Now Texas, which is known because of winter storms in winters and sun that pours fire in summers, using the stadium throughout the year means that it will be indoor, and that too with climate control. It happens like this, that normally when a roof has to be put on top of any structure, then obviously for that pillars are erected. But if pillars were erected in the stadium, then they would become an obstacle for the audience in watching the match. This was the very first challenge of architect Brian Truby, who faced the most difficult challenges of his career in this project. He had to make a design for the stadium in which there would be no pillars at all. But for Brian, the challenge was not only to design a roof without pillars. On this roof there will be not only a 1,500-ton retractable roof, but on it the world's heaviest LED screen will also be hung, whose alone weight was calculated as 600,000 kilograms, meaning the total weight will be 2,100 tons. Its solution was hidden in a structure in history which today everyone has forgotten. In 1875, engineers were laying a railway line in Portugal, but their work stopped when they came to the bank of the Douro River. This river is 170 meters wide and up to 20 meters deep, and at that time the flow of water here was also quite fast, which means that pillars cannot be put here to build a bridge. To solve this problem, French engineer Gustave Eiffel was called. Eiffel designed such a parabolic arch in the support of the river's banks that would not need any pillar. No doubt at that time such a big arch seemed impossible, but Eiffel proved everyone wrong. This was not only the design of the arch that was bearing the weight of the bridge. If you look carefully, then inside it small triangles are made, and these triangles are the biggest secret of the arch's strength, because triangle is the only shape in the world on which, however much pressure is put, it will break, but will not change its shape. The structure of these triangles in the language of engineering is called the truss system, and Gustave Eiffel's this discovery was also used in Texas's AT&T Stadium, but on an extremely large scale. 2 arches 1,400 feet long, whose thickness was kept 14 feet and depth 35 feet. All their weight was put on for concrete abutments made at a distance of 400 meters. In each abutment, as much concrete was used as is used in 200 houses of 200 yards. And because these arches were made of steel, which in Texas's heat can expand and also tear the concrete, expansion joints were put between the steel and the abutment, which allowed the stadium to breathe. After 8 months, the work of the roof was completed. Without pillars, now an open-view stadium's roof was ready. In its middle, an iconic rectangular hole was kept, which was the sign of the Dallas Cowboys' old stadium. But in AT&T Stadium, this hole had to be closed with a roof that opens to compete with every kind of weather. But no one had an idea how difficult this work would be. Retractable roof panels, whose total weight was 10 times more than even the world's heaviest animal, the blue whale. Opening and closing them on these sloped arches proved to be a most difficult task. Obviously, when the roof opens, then because of gravity it has to be stopped, and to lift it up, going against gravity will be like lifting 10 blue whales. For this work, first the roof panels were divided into 2 equal parts so that when the roof opens, equal weight falls on both sides of the truss. Now if heavy-duty winches were used to open and close them, then to lift a weight of 1,500 tons, at least a winch of 3,000 tons, the weight would also be added further. And if any one winch did not open any one panel with equal speed, then the balance of the truss will get disturbed, and then this will be no less than a disaster. Second, if the steel wire of the winch even by mistake broke, then understand a very big destruction. To solve this problem, the engineers turned to a 150-year-old such invention, the inventor of which was not any engineer. In the 19th century, a businessman named Sylvester Marsh, whose work was meat packing, had a great fondness for hiking. He used to go often to climb a mountain named Mount Washington present in New Hampshire. Climbing this mountain was not in the capacity of a common person, and this was the reason that most tourists used to return from below. In 1869, Marsh designed such a railway track which is also called a cog railway or rack railway. In it, a rack is fitted in the middle of the track in which the teeth of gears can get stuck. The part with the track is called the rack, and the gear part which is fitted in the train is called the pinion. Now the train could easily climb any hill without slipping. So that the train does not go backwards, a lock was put on top of the pinion which will give it permission to rotate only in one direction. If you have ever experienced a cog railway or roller coaster, then while climbing up, the continuous hammer sound that comes is of this same lock. This genius invention was given the name rack and pinion. For the retractable roof of AT&T Stadium, the decision was made to install this same rack and pinion system. This line that you are seeing on the stadium's roof, this is its rack or track on which with strong grip the panels can easily open. For this work, 130 motors of 7.5 horsepower were installed, which give power to the pinion to close the roof, and while opening they do the work of brakes. And because the size of the gear is fixed, due to which both roof panels open in an equal way and on both sides of the truss equal weight falls. AT&T Stadium's this retractable roof takes 12 minutes to open. Keeping this whole stadium cool in summers was also not any ordinary work. The volume inside this closed stadium is 3 million cubic meters, meaning that surprisingly as much volume as 75,000 standard rooms. Cooling so much volume means cooling 3 buildings like Burj Khalifa from top to bottom. In air conditioners you must have heard the name of 1.5 ton, 2 ton, or maximum for ton. Surprisingly, in the stadium an 11,000-ton chiller has been installed, whose ducts alone are up to 6 feet thick. Because according to the law of physics cold air is heavy, these ducts throw cold air from above which, passing over the audience, comes and falls on the field. And because warm air is light, it collects in the empty space above the field, from where it gets recycled again. To make the audience's viewing experience wonderful, in AT&T Stadium at that time the world's biggest LED screen was installed. The total weight of this screen is 600,000 kilograms, in which more than 1 crore LEDs were installed. As high as a 10-story building, this screen has been hung 50 meters above the pitch. To give view on all 4 sides, the total surface of this LED is as big as a plot of 3,000 yards. No matter in which corner you sit, this screen of the stadium can be seen from everywhere. The doors of the stadium are glass doors as high as a 12-story building. These are not in one piece, but rather made by joining small panels. The weight of each panel is close to 86 kilograms. These insulated glass doors also open and close with the help of this same rack and pinion. These magnificent doors take approximately 18 minutes to fully open or close. Now we come to the main thing, where the game will be played. In AT&T, turf was installed over concrete so that here not only football but rather by removing the turf other games can also be played. But now for FIFA 2026, the stadium management is facing a new challenge. According to FIFA's rule, a soccer match will be played only on real grass, not on artificial turf. For this purpose, and to fulfill FIFA's condition, the Dallas Cowboys have separated a budget of $300 million, and the question is, how will real grass be grown on the concrete floor? The roof of the stadium does not open completely, which could give equal sunlight to all the grass. For this, the management of the stadium has raised the field up to 6 inches. For the water of the grass to go out, a special drainage system has been put below, and to maintain sunlight, artificial UV lights have been installed. The plan of the stadium management is that real grass will not be grown inside the stadium, but rather it will be grown in a farm in Colorado, and then near the match it will be brought in refrigerator trucks and installed. Along with that, the original seating capacity of the stadium, which is 80,000, there is also a plan to increase it up to 94,000. For FIFA 2026, in AT&T Stadium a total of 9 matches will be played, in which here the very first will be played on June 14th, and the World Cup semifinal will also be here on July 14th. And after that, removing the real grass, turf will be seeded again. I hope this video of Rake TV also you people will like and share abundantly. Many thanks for your loving comments. You people, we will meet in the next wonderful video.